Welcome everybody to today's Widerfunnel webinar presentation, Turn Your Paid Search Account into a Well-Oiled Machine. Before we get started, there's just a couple of housekeeping rules. There'll be a Q&A session at the end of the webinar. If you'd like to ask a question, use the chat box to your right. Microphones will be muted during the presentation. If you're having any technical issues, please email help@widerfunnel.com or you could tweet us @Widerfunnel. For those of you in the Twitterverse, you can follow us today @Widerfunnel, or you can follow Chris directly @ChrisGoward. The hashtags for this webinar presentation will be PPC Well Built. Today's host, Chris Goward, is the co-founder and CEO of Widerfunnel. He's a marketing strategist and an entrepreneur, and his first website build was in 1994. He's developed all of Widerfunnel's processes, including the lift model and the Kaizen, and he speaks globally. He has an upcoming book that'll be published by Wiley. Without further ado, here's Chris Goward.
Great, thanks Joseph. And we're really pleased today to have a special guest with us. Elena Sercheva is a paid search analyst at Widerfunnel. She's been very involved in working with us to develop paid search analytics products and delivering them for clients. She specializes in B2B and B2C client-focused accounts. She's managed paid search accounts in excess of $3 million annually with an annual spend, over 100 campaigns and 100,000 keywords in her accounts, and targeting global audiences. So she's got a depth of experience in having managed a lot of paid search in the past, and we're very pleased that she's part of the Widerfunnel team helping with to improve paid search accounts for our clients. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Elena, and she's going to walk through a bunch of great content and tips to improve paid search accounts, and then I will get back into the post-click side of it near the end. Welcome, Elena.
Thank you, Chris. All right, so we are talking about search today, and here is why. Search is huge. It is by far the biggest chunk of your interactive marketing spend. And according to Forrester Research, it will be growing by 12% every year in the next 4 years. When you look at where people are actually searching, the majority of them obviously use Google, but Yahoo and Microsoft still hold a neat chunk of the performed searches at 28%. In fact, Hitwise just released data that Bing has stolen some reach from Google over the last year. You probably know that AdWords is the system that you would use to manage your paid search on Google sites. The tool for Microsoft is called Ad Center, and through Ad Center you can also advertise on Yahoo. So between AdWords and Ad Center, you're reaching pretty much 100% of the search universe. Most of my examples today are going to be about AdWords, but similar principles apply for Ad Center. AdWords are big. Google released their revenue numbers for 2011 and at $37.9 billion, and 96% of that comes from advertising revenue. It's pretty easy to get an AdWords account. All you really need is a credit card and a website, but it is not so easy to make that account the most cost efficient for you. And I just took a quick look on Amazon looking for books on paid search. There is a staggering amount of information out there, 2,144 results. This is just a snapshot of, a quick snapshot of some of the books that exist. So it is complex, but deceptively easy to enter. Here is what awaits you once you create your account. The goal of the search campaign overall is obviously to move people forward from the search engine, from their searches to your site and to conversions. throughout those tips, there are multiple various moving parts. You would have to obviously select your keywords, think about your ads and your landing pages. And ultimately try to close the deal on your landing page and get people to buy, with the goal being generating revenue with the highest profitable return on ad spend. There are multiple metrics that you can look at to help you optimize, and on top of that, Google frequently releases new features just to make our life a little bit easier. This is a quick refresher on the elements and structure of a paid search campaign. So as an advertiser, you would create your account and then different campaigns within it. Each campaign is divided in ad groups, and the ad groups is where you'd bucket relevant keywords together. One thing to remember is that at the ad group level, this is where you have control over your click-through URL and your landing page. You're only allowed one landing page per ad group. If you advertise on the display network, you also have additional elements to consider and to play with. On top of keywords, you have placements and banner ads. So in this next section of the presentation, I'll go over just some of my favorite tips of running a successful paid search campaign. You saw the amount of books and knowledge that's out there, so this will by no means be an exhaustive list, but that's just something that I'm particularly passionate about. First and foremost, think about how you want to structure your campaign. Do you want to target by product or by purchase intent? If you are selling widgets of some type, you can structure your campaign around products. Or you can decide to go by purchase intent and think about where in the decision-making funnel are your visitors. Are they researching, or are they really ready to purchase? This will affect your ad copy, your keywords, your landing page, and this is also where you can control your budget at the campaign level. So do you want to spend a specific amount per product, or do you want to spend your budget and divide your budget based on the decision cycle? This will really depend on your business and on your goals, but generally, if your product is such that it has a longer decision-making cycle, then probably purchase intent is a better fit for you as an advertiser. My second tip, and I can't stress this enough, is please do track to conversion. Here are just two campaigns that we've analyzed, and when we started analyzing them, on the surface they looked fairly similar. The click-through rate is virtually the same. The cost per click is actually lower for the second campaign, so your first instinct would be to spend and put more money towards your second campaign. It seems to be working better. But once we look at conversions, this is when the story changes, and it changes dramatically. The conversions of the second campaign are just not cutting it. The number is very low. The cost per conversion is humongous compared to the first campaign. So really it's a no-brainer that you have to invest more in campaign A. And remember that the conversion doesn't have to be a sale. This doesn't just apply to e-commerce. If you're generating leads, then track your leads. If you are a non-for-profit organization, for example, and gathering donations or recruiting volunteers, then these are your goals, so track those. The important thing is to measure beyond just the click, measure what is important for your business, and then you can not only optimize between campaigns within your paid search account, you can also optimize across your marketing channels based on what is most profitable and most cost efficient for you. Make sure that you're reaching the right customers in terms of geographical location. If you have a car dealership in San Mateo, California, for example, then most likely your customers are in San Mateo. Or you might want to look at where your most profitable conversions are coming from and target regions with higher conversion rates. Let's say you're selling high-end vacation packages and Europe is your target market. You might want to exclude Greece from your market right now because they're not doing that great, and the chances of them actually buying a luxury vacation around the world are not so great. So do fine-tune using the exclusion and add button. You can not only add locations but exclude certain areas here. Mobile is an exploding field right now, and this same Forrester research study forecasts an average growth over 30% year over year for the next 4 years. And my experience shows that people behave differently in mobile and desktop environments. Do separate your mobile search in dedicated campaigns so you have more control over the budget and over your messaging. Mobile visitors usually tend to respond better to shorter ads, and they use shorter keywords when they search. Tablet users tend to behave closer to desktop and laptop users than to mobile users. Here you also have the option to target by browser and device and carrier, and this is exactly the type of targeting that got Orbitz into trouble a couple of weeks before, and they revealed that they're using device targeting to show more high-end hotels to iPad users. But you know, if it can be very useful if you're selling device accessories. You can show exactly the accessories that you want to the customer that is browsing with that particular device at the moment. My next tip is about negative keywords. Negative keywords are very, very important. They'll help you cut your costs down by excluding irrelevant terms from your bids. This is an example from a flower shop client. They sell flowers online, and when I did research on the most popular searches related to the term flower, here is what popped up. A lot of the top searches have to do with images and pictures of flowers, which is not really relevant from what I'm trying to advertise. And by excluding them, I make sure that my client is not paying for clicks on these keywords, and also that the keyword flower doesn't broad match to these irrelevant searches. Google has recently launched a nifty new addition to their keyword tool to help with exactly this. You can now view your keyword ideas grouped by related ad groups. So if there is a whole bucket of irrelevant keywords, you can exclude them with just one click instead of sifting through lines and lines of separate keywords. Dynamic keyword insertions is something that can increase the relevancy of your ads quite a lot and can improve your click-through rate and quality score. This is a quick technique to create multiple very, very targeted ads for long lists of keywords. You have to add a quick snippet of code in your ad text, and by doing that, the specific keyword that your searcher is using is now part of is now going to be part of the ad. So look at the example here. By using the dynamic keyword insertion in the headline, my headline changes from buy sour candy to buy sour gummy bears or buy sour sweet candy, if that's what people are searching for. Avoid mistakes with dynamic keyword insertions. There are numerous examples out there of fails. See this, like children's wholesale in children's sale, or bear parts, fantastic prices on bear parts. This is an ad by eBay. So when you create your dynamic keyword insertion ads, go over each keyword within that ad group, make sure that they make sense and that they work with the dynamic keyword insertion. Use negative keywords and make sure that you use broad match carefully and sparingly in this case. The next tip is about site links. Site links are one of my favorite ad extensions. They let you present the user with more than one link to click through. And they also let them choose for themselves which one of those links is more relevant. There are several benefits for this. First, take a look at the ad. It takes up more space now and it pushes the competition further down. It pops out more visually. Google has actually reported click-through rate that click-through rate has increased as much as 30% when you use site links, and I have seen it in my practice. The second benefit comes after the click. You have now shaved off a few clicks from the navigation path of your visitor. They, instead of going to a generic barbecue grills site, they can choose to go to the weekly specials directly. And with fewer clicks, they have fewer options to bail out before they buy. The location extension is another one of my favorites. This will apply mainly to local businesses, but take a look at the screenshot. Here am I looking for a massage in Seattle, and I'm presented with these two examples. Not only the location not only makes this ad bigger, it quite possibly saves this customer a click, the money for click-through, because I have everything I need from them now. I know where they're located and I know their phone number, so I can phone them and make a reservation. But this is, take a look at the map. Here is a little neat gift that Google has given you. Your ad, your location now shows up as #1 in the map for massages in Seattle, and it is highlighted in a different color, so it pops visually. You have one more space to advertise. When you optimize, when you set up your campaigns, do take advantage of your ad delivery settings. By default, Google sets your ad rotation to optimize for clicks. So the ads are expected, they show the ads who are expected to provide more clicks more often. Make sure that you're optimizing for what works for you and for your business. Optimize for conversions. That's obviously what I recommend as the best approach. You might want to rotate your ads evenly for a while if you're testing different messages and want to try which one works better. If you're advertising on the display network, cap your impressions. Make sure that you're not showing them too often. You don't want your ads to become a nuisance and start annoying your prospects. I recommend capping at 5 to 7 impressions per ad per day. Following up on the display network, if you use the display network, make sure that you keep your campaigns separate. Your campaigns on the display network separate from your traditional search campaigns. This will allow you to target better, and it will give you tighter control over budget. Make sure that you know what your targeting options are. Here you have the opportunity to play with different placements, target people by topics, or by specific keywords that appear within the text where you are advertising. You can either have a broad or a specific reach here. A specific reach is where all these 3 elements coincide. So you're reaching customers who fulfill all of the 3 requirements, or you can have a broad reach where you reach visitors that fulfill any of the 3 requirements. And you can choose, obviously, to go with just 2 or just 1. Google has just released a new feature called flexible targeting. And flexible targeting now allows you to do this kind of targeting at the ad group level. So you can choose to have an ad group focusing on specific topics, and then have a separate ad group within the same campaign that is targeting placements. Another additional option and opportunity to target on the display network is remarketing. Remarketing really gives you one more shot at talking to your visitors and converting them to customers. Here is an example where I'm browsing for shoes on abc.com. Nothing really grabs me, and I exit and go browse a fashion blog, let's say. With remarketing, you tag me with a pixel and can now show me a special offer for free shipping or for a discount to get me back to your site and to induce me to buy. You can use that tactic to convert casual browsers into customers, or to get people who have signed up for free trial, get them back to your site and convert them into full version purchases, for example. Be smart when you do remarketing and show people new content and new offers. Give them a reason to click back. They have already been to your site. They know what's there. So you have to give them something in addition to make them click and come back. All right, so these are my tips on how to make your PPC campaign and account work harder for you. And now I'll talk a little bit about software. We get a lot of questions from people about PPC software. People often wonder whether they should hire an agency or get a paid search marketer, or can they just get a software and get by with that. Really, the PPC software is, at the end of the day, it's not a get it and forget it solution. It's meant to complement the efforts of your staff, of your paid search managers. It is a really good tool, an effective tool for routine repetitive tasks like account monitoring and automated alerts. It can generate a huge bucket of keyword lists and group them in ad groups for you. It can help with bid management. In a word, it can actually lighten the load of your experts and free their time from doing those manual tasks that you're probably overpaying them to do. It does not replace the experts and their expertise, You know, only your paid search marketer was very smart, you know, probably paying them a lot of money. You know, use them to create your strategy to make sure that the account, your account and your campaign structure is set up in a smart and strategical way. And they're the ones that can perform deep analysis for you that's aligned with business goals. At the end of the day, the software tool is only as good as the people who manage it, and you know, spend a little bit on tools, but a lot more on your people. They're your biggest investment. And now I will hand it over to Chris to talk about what happens after the click.
Great, thanks, Elena. That's awesome content, and you know, hopefully those are some helpful tips, and you were able to identify in the audience some of the things that you could help to improve your campaigns now. And I'm going to talk just a couple slides here for a minute or two about the post-click. You know, once you've got the right message, targeted the right people, and got them to your landing pages or got them to your website, now what do you show them? Do you send them to a landing page? Do you send them to a microsite? Do you send them to a page within your site? How do you maximize your conversion rates to, once you've spent the money to attract them, to actually sell some products and generate leads and do the things that you need for your business? So I'm going to talk about that for a moment. And first I want to start with a poll to understand about what you're doing right now. Do you send most of your traffic to landing pages that are custom built for the campaigns? Do you go to microsites which are multi-page landing experiences? Do you go to website pages within your site or something else? So let's open up the poll, and I'd like to hear what you're into. So you can go ahead and select multiple options if you're using them, or the ones that are most common for you. So do you use standalone custom landing pages? Do you build microsites with multiple page experiences, or do you send them straight to product or category pages within your site, or something else that doesn't fit outside within those categories? So we're getting your votes coming in. Go ahead and just click on a couple of those options, and then we'll take a look at the results, which will be really interesting to see. This is great. I see these results coming in, and there's some neck and neck competition here. So get your votes in. And great, we'll close that down and take a look at the results of what you're doing right now. So let's look at the poll. Can you share the poll results there? Okay, great. So look at that. Most of you are building custom landing pages for your campaigns, which is excellent. And the majority of the rest are sending your visitors straight to pages within your website. And only a small sliver are actually using microsites, and then there's 6% other. So I'd be curious to, if you're using other, if you can enter something into the panel on the right and let us know what you're doing that might be categorized as other. That'd be interesting to see. So the question is, where to send them? Where should you send your paid search campaigns? We've heard this question often. You know, some clients come to us wanting microsites to be built or their websites redesigned. Often a landing page may be all they need, and it's an important decision. I wrote a blog post the other day that responds to a post by Seth Godin about the sad truth about conversion rates. And he said, you know, the sad truth is that 1% of the people you talk to are going to convert into a lead or a prospect, and then 1% of those are going to buy or become an evangelist for you and talk to other people about it. And so, you know, he simplified the topic a bit, but the concept is there, and I think he makes a good point.